This is the new M5 MacBook Air, and yes, it looks exactly like the previous MacBook Air. I've talked about it for the past few years. This is truly the quintessential laptop, really a starting point for everyone. Maybe if you're in the Apple ecosystem, the Neo might be changing that a little bit, but we have a new chip, we have some upgrades across the board, and what we're gonna do is break it down with some benchmarks, some real world tests that are applicable to you, and find out who does this make the most sense for to upgrade. All right, so really this is all about the new M5 chip inside. This is a new 10-core CPU, 8-core GPU. You actually have the option to customize up to a 10-core CPU, 10-core GPU. And what do you get with that? The neural accelerators here, 4 times the performance for AI tasks once Apple Intelligence really comes together. But also graphically, with that GPU, you get the enhanced shader cores, a 3rd generation ray tracing engine. This is gonna help your gaming, along with its faster unified memory. That's 153 gigabytes of bandwidth, which is a 25% improvement over the previous M4. Also, one of the big things they've made changes is they have now upgraded the base model storage. So previously it was 256 gigs. It is now 512 gigs at that baseline. That starts at $1,099. And then the actual read-write speeds of the solid state drive inside are twice as fast as the previous version. So cosmetically, right, you're not gonna see anything different. The design is exactly the same, 2.7 pounds in weight. This here is the 13.6-inch display, a little larger than the 13-inch on the Neo, which we showed off earlier. You have obviously 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, you have MagSafe, you have great spatial audio. I mean, Apple has just done an incredible job with their speakers. You have the Magic Keyboard. You also have here, right, the trackpad, multi-touch. This does really everything you expect to do, and the Air, there's a reason why I call it the foundation of the Apple laptop line. This also has Apple's new N1 networking chip, so that supports Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread compatibility for other devices. You have this pretty much modernized and up to speed, and then also memory options. This comes with 16 gigs of unified memory. You do have the ability to upgrade it to either 25 or as high as 32 gigs. And then I forgot to mention, but storage-wise, you do start with 512 gigs of storage base model, but you can bump up all the way to 4 terabytes if you please. So that's what's new. Now let's go to some of these benchmarks just to give you a little bit of a comparison. This doesn't necessarily have any effect of real world performance, but gives you an idea of where it stands compared to some of the other models out there. And we'll start here. You'll see we start with the MacBook Neo all the way up to the standard M1, M2, M3, M4. You have the M5. This is the CPU performance, right? Geekbench 6 benchmarks, single core performance. You have 4,172, and then multi-core score performance, 17,109. If you see how the improvements have tracked along the series of M1 and above, this all continues to flow, right? The performance, you keep on getting roughly around 10 to 15% gains. Now let's look here at the Metal GPU performance. You start off with the Neo, right? Actually, surprisingly, 30,000 above, right? Outperforming the M1 MacBook Air. But if you go across, and let's land here again on the M5 13-inch MacBook Air, 76,378, really smack dab between an M4 and an M1 Max, just slotting that, but really more than capable of gaming. I'm not talking about super high-end games, right? When I think of AAA titles, I'm always gonna think about PC gaming, but this laptop is more than a budget entry-level laptop. You can do a whole lot more, and we're gonna show you that. So let's talk about some real-world tests. Obviously, I do a lot of video editing. I've been compiling these benchmarks for years, and so what we do is we export some projects and see how they perform. So this is gonna be Adobe Premiere 26.01 for a 13-minute video. That's 3 layers of video and 3 layers of audio. You can actually see we have the standard processors on top, the Max processors on the bottom row, but let's look over to the far right, top right corner. The M5 13-inch MacBook Air can export a 13-minute video in 5 minutes and 45 seconds today. That is just absolutely impressive. This is with Adobe Premiere. For those youngins that don't understand how fast it is, all I'm just telling you is that is incredible. But if you want to get really crazy and faster, look at something like the M5 Max 14-inch MacBook Pro, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. But what you'll notice is the gradual improvement, let's say from M3 to M4 to M5, sure, there's a little bit of difference. I mean, roughly about, let's say, a minute or so, but you're not gonna upgrade from an M4 to an M5 and see really major significant gains. For me, if someone really wants to get better performance and they're sticking with the standard processor line, maybe if you're on an M1, maybe an M2, you make that jump up if you're doing some level video editing. Obviously, the higher end creatives, I'm always going to recommend getting a pro machine. But if you have something like an M2 or higher, I do not think that with that performance, there's no need to worry and make an upgrade yet. Okay, now let's talk about something a little bigger. This is a larger 45-minute video. Not many of you are doing that, but this is just to show you what it's capable of. 15 layers of video and audio. And again, let's look over to the top right-hand corner, the M5 13-inch MacBook Air in 2026. This model that is right in front of me, that gets 48 minutes and 18 seconds on an export for a 45-minute video. That's pretty darn impressive. We also then, again, we are humbled by looking at what the Max family is capable of. The new M5 Max 14-inch MacBook Pro, 9 minutes and 6 seconds. That is obscene. But if you want to get a little crazier, even crazier, we always have to talk about native hardware, native software. So we are looking at a Final Cut 12.0 video export. This is for a 15-minute video, 4 layers of video, 4 layers of audio. I mean, this is like child's play for that app, but let's look at the breakdown again. Remember, real-time rendering as you're editing and exporting. M5 13-inch MacBook Pro, this right here, 54 seconds for a Final Cut project that is 15 minutes. And then look, what's kind of impressive is you can see, if you look at these numbers, it's been maybe relatively hanging around or getting a little closer to what an M5 Max is capable of. 40 seconds on this export. So what, you're talking about a 14-second difference in an export with Final Cut Pro from a Max machine to an Air machine? That shows you just how much value and power is packed into here. So we talk about all those examples, and it really comes down to who does this laptop make the most sense for. Now, if you're on an Intel machine today still, look, if your machine is performing the way you want it to and you're doing great, don't upgrade. But I would say for anyone on an Intel machine right now, this M5 MacBook Air is really a great option today. You have a slimmer, sleeker form factor, even slimmer than the Max MacBook Pro lineup or even the Pro MacBook Pro lineup, more portable, just as powerful, extremely more powerful than your Intel base. And again, I talked about earlier, maybe some with an M1 or an M2. And really, this is also for that student and even a professional that wants to do a little bit more than word processing and emailing and surfing the web. I showed you just how powerful the MacBook Neo is and how the Neo arguably is going to be the laptop of choice that I would maybe argue 80 to 85% of people actually need, but it only has a 13-inch display. You have a 13 and 15-inch option here, more power. This also, as you grow into your computer, as you want to do more, this is a perfect type of machine for that, especially I think like a college student that's doing coding and wants to dabble with video and photo and wants to continue to grow with it. This is a machine that has enough overhead to really do that for you. Now this MacBook Air still comes in the same colors as before. You have sky blue, you have silver, you have starlight, and you have midnight. Again, it starts at $1,099. That's actually $100 more than last year's model, but you are getting twice the base model storage, better performance with that drive. So that's really maybe where some of those costs go up. But for education, $999 for the 13-inch model. That is compelling. The 15-inch model starts at $1299, and then you can customize it and stack it how you want. Otherwise, whenever someone asks me, what laptop should I get? I always tell them, start with the Air, see where you're at, and then move up. Now, I'm actually saying start with the Neo, but most likely the Air probably makes the most sense for you. But if you're talking about someone like my mom, someone like a student, look, you can't really argue what the Neo has brought to the table, but you're getting a lot of other extra bells and whistles, right? You are getting MagSafe, you're getting a backlit keyboard, you are getting some of these other benefits, a larger display, better speakers. This is really more of a creative tool, and the reality is that although I couldn't effectively do all my work on a MacBook Neo, I could effectively do all my work on a MacBook Air. So M5 MacBook Air, I mean, this is a solid Apple, great machine that continues to get better over time and just does it step by step. Incremental upgrades this year, but still a very solid Apple.